If you've never seen a person snap, let me paint you a picture. One sunny afternoon, security cameras in our usually sleepy neighborhood caught something so unthinkable. It still plays in my mind every night. It's a shot of the HOA president, Rebecca, always prim and proper, never a hair out of place, dragging my 4-year-old daughter, Mia, into her black SUV, her voice ringing out. I'm taking this brat away from here for good. Thing is, Rebecca had no clue who she was messing with. She just kidnapped the daughter of Detective Jake Morrison. And in the next 47 minutes, every law enforcement agency for 3 states would be hunting her down like she was America's most wanted. Yeah, that happened. And if you think stuff like this only makes the news, let me tell you, when tyranny in a little suburb crosses the line, you're about to learn just how far a father and a cop will go to protect his own. You want the real story? Buckle up, because it still makes my hands shake to tell it. It started out like any other Tuesday in Maple Ridge. Autumn sun, leaves everywhere, me at my desk pretending to work while mostly watching out the window, counting down minutes until the school bus would bring my little hurricane home from preschool. On paper, I'm just Jake, work-from-home single dad. Only a handful know I spent the last 8 years as an undercover detective, living a double life while infiltrating a drug syndicate so deep my own family barely knew where I was half the time. Mia, she's everything good in my world. 4 years old, curly blonde hair, green eyes that could melt the devil. People say she's got this way of making the mailman laugh and getting old Mrs. Patterson next door to bake cookies just for her. We'd settled into a sweet little rhythm. Me, her, our small house with its creaky porch, our neighbors giving friendly waves. The Johnsons' kids treated Mia like a mascot, and Mr. Chun, old-timer, always timed his walks so he'd see her come home. But not everyone was so neighborly. Rebecca Thornfield, she'd been watching us for months. Her eyes, cold, gray, predatory. She ran the HOA like some dictator, always enforcing rules, sending out fines for leaving a bike out or planting the wrong color flowers. Underneath all that order, though, was something twisted. She'd lost her own little girl in a car crash a decade ago, and rumor was she'd never gotten over it. At first, it was little things. Rebecca would show up whenever Mia was in the yard, claiming she was just checking for safety hazards, but really just staring. Then the questions: what time did Mia eat? Who watched her? What was our bedtime routine? Next came the gifts, expensive dolls, books, even clothes with the tags still on. I tried to be polite, thanked her, and always returned the gifts, telling her we wanted Mia to earn her treats. That's when the mask slipped. Her friendly act faded and she started filing complaints, first with the HOA, then with child services, claiming neglect, hinting at all sorts of things a single dad might be hiding. If you know anything about obsessive personalities, you'll know setting boundaries doesn't make them stop. It makes them escalate. Behind my back, Rebecca was documenting Mia's every move, photographing her, taking notes, calling in fake tips, even trying to access her preschool records. She convinced herself that Mia belonged with her, that a little girl needed a mother, and that my mysterious job made me unfit. She started showing up at the school, dropping hints that she was family. At first, nobody believed her, but it only takes one slip. That Tuesday, Mia was over the moon. She'd made a Halloween pumpkin in class, tiny orange handprints. Couldn't wait to hang it up. We'd planned to practice bike riding in the driveway, her pink helmet waiting, covered in stickers. When the bus rolled up at 3:18 sharp, I was there as always. Only this time, Mia wasn't. The kids came off one by one, but no Mia. Mrs. Henderson, the bus driver, looked around, then told me she thought I'd picked Mia up myself. My blood ran cold. Turns out, Rebecca had gone to the preschool, forged emergency paperwork, and told the office there was a family crisis. She knew all the right things to say, the details of Mia's life, down to her allergies, her favorite blanket. She even faked a medical power of attorney. No one called me to check. They just let her walk right out with my daughter. That was the moment the detective in me took over. Calm, methodical, cold as ice on the outside. Inside, I was screaming. Within 10 minutes, every agency I'd ever worked with was on the phone. My cover was blown, but I didn't care. Sarah Walsh, my partner, she's tough as nails, has seen it all, showed up at my place, took one look at me, and said, "We're getting her back, Jake. Whatever it takes." We called in the cavalry, Local cops, state troopers, FBI. Rebecca didn't realize she'd just poked a hornet's nest. Traffic cams caught her SUV heading north. Roadblocks went up. The feds launched a child abduction response unit. Within 47 minutes, this quiet suburb looked like something out of a movie. Lights, helicopters, agents everywhere. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. As we scrambled to find Rebecca, another parent, Mr. Chun, came forward, saying he'd noticed a strange man hanging around Rebecca's house the week before, someone who didn't belong. At first, I thought it was nothing, but then Sarah dug deeper and found out Rebecca had been making calls to a former foster care consultant, a woman with a history of illegally rehoming kids for desperate parents. We realized Rebecca might not be working alone, and there was a risk Mia could be handed off to someone even worse if we didn't move fast. Finally, 3 hours and 22 minutes after Mia vanished, a state police helicopter spotted Rebecca's SUV at an abandoned summer camp 60 miles north. Thermal imaging picked up 2 figures inside. SWAT moved in. The longest 4 minutes of my life followed, radio silent, until finally, child secured. Suspect in custody. I floored it, siren blaring, barely breathing until I saw Mia, my brave, terrified little girl, wrapped in a blanket, sobbing but safe. She ran into my arms and whispered, "Daddy." The mean lady said she was my new mommy, but I told her I just wanted to go home. I'll never forget the look in Rebecca's eyes as they put her in cuffs, still convinced she'd done the right thing. To her, she was saving Mia. To the rest of the world, she was a criminal. In the weeks that followed, everything came out. Rebecca's months of stalking, the forged documents, the phone records with that foster care consultant. Mia's testimony was heartbreaking. She talked about being driven to the camp, how Rebecca tried to brush her hair, telling her she'd never see her daddy again. But Mia held strong, repeating what I'd always told her about stranger danger and safe grown-ups. In the end, the evidence was ironclad. The jury took less than 2 hours to return a guilty verdict. Rebecca got 25 years, the harshest sentence anyone in our district ever got for kidnapping. The real healing, though, started after. Mia needed months of counseling, but she bounced back, stronger than ever. The neighborhood changed too. The HOA was torn down and rebuilt. The summer camp turned into a training center for law enforcement. Even the kids in the neighborhood learned. Sometimes, the people who smile the brightest can have the darkest secrets. Years have passed. Mia's now 8, confident, kind, quick to comfort anyone who's scared. I got promoted to head our new child crimes unit. Rebecca? She sits in prison, still telling anyone who'll listen that she was right all along. So here's what I want to ask you. When a community trusts someone with power, how do we make sure they don't cross the line? What do you think? Is justice ever enough? Or is there something deeper we need to fix to keep our kids truly safe? Let me know your thoughts below, because if there's one thing this nightmare taught me, it's that protecting a child is everybody's job. And sometimes, it takes a village to face the darkness, together.